Wednesday, and welcome to Quick Bite History Live, where we have a little fun with history. We are very happy to be here this evening. You can catch us live each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Tonight, we are pleased to present three different shows in one. We will roll out our robots for 3 exciting rounds of digital speed painting. First, we're going to present a very special feature in honor of our 9/11 date. 20 key figures involved in the events surrounding 9/11. So hopefully you guys will like that. Next up, we'll do 20, and kind of related, we'll do 20 American military leaders through history. And then finally, a bonus round of 20 icons of the 1980s. So settle in for some serious fun with history tonight. Now, do please check in if you get a chance. Say hi. This is where you'll present your answers. And if you have any questions, we'll do our best to answer those along the way. So check in. I see Jan's here. I know Arena's on her way, so we'll get going. Okay, so it's time to fire up those robots. Let me load up the first video file for us. Give me a sec, and we'll have that going. So you know the rules to this game. Robots paint, and you guys guess. And again, the category is 20 key figures involved in events surrounding 9/11. So good luck. And this is pretty cool. It's first-person clues. I was born into a wealthy Saudi family. I was trained in guerrilla warfare during the Soviet War. Who knows already who it is? Kind of iconic face, huh? I founded a global jihadist organization in the late 1980s. My organization orchestrated the most deadly terrorist attack on U.S. soil. Osama. Yes, it is. Not Obama. Nope. Osama. You got it. I was killed by U.S. Navy SEALs in Pakistan in 2011. So yes, indeed, we start easy, we get harder. This is Osama bin Laden. He was the mastermind behind 9/11 attacks and led the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. There he is. Robots did a pretty good job painting Osama bin Laden, didn't they? Wasn't he like a contractor originally? Or maybe his dad was a construction guy. Yeah. All right, next up. I followed in my father's footsteps by becoming president of the United States. I was serving my first term when 9/11 attacks occurred. I declared a war on terror shortly after the attacks. Think you can guess this one? Pretty easy. We start easy and they gradually get harder. And I challenge all of you to get the last 2 or 3 in this category. I declared a war on terror shortly after the attacks. I authorized the invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq. My memorable words, America is under attack. There you go. You got it. Looks like him, doesn't it? Pretty much. Robots, for robots. Pretty close. Yes, indeed. This is George W. Bush. He was the U.S. president during the 9/11 attacks and played a major role in shaping post-9/11 world. So yeah, this has already been 23 years, if you can believe that. Time does fly. There he is, George W. Next up. I served as U.S. Secretary of Defense during the Gulf War. I had significant influence in shaping U.S. foreign policy after 9/11. I was one of the architects of the Iraq War. I am Team Kamala. Kind of teasing about that one. I survived a near fatal heart attack while serving as vice president. I shot a guy in the face while serving as vice president. Yes, you've got it. I was the vice president during the 9/11 attacks. I think everybody's probably got this one. Yes, indeed. This is Dick Cheney. Cheney was a key figure in the Bush administration, deeply involved in decisions following 9/11. Dick Cheney, still in the news. Speaking of guys that are sometimes still in the news, next up. I was an attorney before entering politics. I earned a reputation for cracking down on crime in New York City. I led New York City through one of the darkest days. I became known as America's mayor for my leadership on 9/11. I was indeed the mayor of New York City during the 9/11 attacks. Who am I? I think you've got it, but it's not Gillum. Rudy. Rudy Tooty Tooty. Rudy Giuliani gained national recognition for his leadership in New York City during and after the 9/11 attacks. Y'all remember that? 23 years ago. Where were you all when it happened? I was watching CNBC. All right, next up. I served in Congress before joining the executive branch. I held the position of U.S. Secretary of Defense twice, including during 9/11. Yeah, I was at the house in Utah. It was pretty early morning, watching stock stuff. I was trading stocks at the time, and getting ready to go into work in Cedar City. Yeah. No, incorrect. I played a major role in planning for U.S. invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq. I was at the Pentagon when it was hit by a plane on 9/11. No, I don't. Maybe the robots aren't doing such a good job with this painting. I think when it's done, you'll say it's okay. I was the Secretary of Defense during the 9/11 attacks. Who was the Secretary of Defense during 9/11? A guy from the Vietnam War. Donald Rumsfeld. Donald Rumsfeld oversaw the U.S. military response to 9/11 and played a key role in the early stages of the war on terror. There you go. Donald Rumsfeld. I bet you'll get this one. I was a professor and expert in Soviet studies before entering government. I served as the first female African-American Secretary of State. I warned of a possible terror attack before 9/11. I coordinated U.S. national security policy during the attacks. Who knows who this is? Who's got this one? I bet you know it. I was the National Security Advisor during the 9/11 attacks. Remember who this is? From Stanford. Now she's like a member of the Masters Committee at the Augusta National Golf. Yeah. Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice was National Security Advisor during the 9/11 attacks and later became Secretary of State. Condoleezza Rice. Next up. Let's change of pace here a little bit. I was born in Kuwait, but educated in the U.S. I became involved in extremist groups in the 1990s. I plotted several high-profile terrorist attacks before 9/11. Who remembers who this is? I was the principal architect behind the 9/11 attacks. This is the architect guy. This is the architect guy. Wait, it's this way, right? No. I was captured in 2003 and have been held at Guantanamo Bay since. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying Guantanamo tonight. Who knows who this is? This is Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is considered the mastermind behind 9/11 attacks and remains in U.S. custody today. Okay, these get harder now. So those are the easy ones. Good luck. I was an academic. You might need to Google. I was an academic before entering government service. I was a key figure in developing U.S. defense policy during the Cold War. Who knows who this is? Anybody remember? I advocated for regime change. I said that already. In Iraq long before 9/11. I was a leading advocate for the 2003 invasion of Iraq. This is one of the guys. I was Deputy Secretary of Defense during 9/11. So this is the assistant guy. Who remembers who this is? Deputy Secretary of Defense in 2001. Who knows? Google, quick. Who's got it? Anybody? This is Paul Wolfowitz. You remember that? He played a pivotal role in shaping U.S. foreign policy after 9/11, particularly regarding Iraq. All right, you'll know the next one, I bet. I was the first African American to serve as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I was a career soldier rising to the highest ranks in the U.S. military. I led U.S. forces in the first Gulf War. There you go, Tim. I got that right? I became Secretary of State shortly before 9/11. So he was actually Secretary of State at the time. I delivered a key address at the UN arguing for Iraq invasion. Yeah, everybody's got it, I think. I knew you'd get this one. Colin Powell. Colin Powell was a prominent military political figure serving as Secretary of State during the 9/11 era. Okay, some of these are easy, some of these are hard. So good luck. Colin Powell. That looks like him, right? The robots did pretty good painting that one. Yeah. Colin Powell. All right, here we go. Next one. I was a U.S. Senator before being appointed to the Bush administration. I played a major role in shaping U.S. legal responses to terrorism. Who remembers who this is? I oversaw the creation and implementation of the U.S. Patriot Act. Ugh. Ah. Wish they'd get rid of that. I guess it was needed at the time, maybe. I led the Department of Justice during one of the most critical periods in U.S. history. I was the U.S. Attorney General during the 9/11 attacks. Everybody remember that? I'm not sure the robots are hitting this one on the button. But his face is definitely right. Who knows this? I was the Attorney General during the 9/11 attacks. Who knows? Remember Bush's Attorney General? John Ashcroft. John Ashcroft led the legal response to 9/11 attacks, including the controversial U.S. Patriot Act. Controversial indeed. All right, these just get harder, so be ready. Have your Google, have your phone ready. I served in multiple presidents' administrations focusing on counterterrorism. I warned the government about the threat of Al-Qaeda before 9/11. I became a vocal critic of the government's response to terrorism after the attacks. I testified before the 9/11 Commission, apologizing to the victims' families. I was the National Coordinator for Security Infrastructure Protection and Counterterrorism. That doesn't sound like that important of a job, I'm not sure. I do remember this guy in the news quite a bit. And this looks like him. So anybody got a guess? Anybody know? Going. This is Richard Clarke. Richard Clarke was a leading counterterrorism expert who raised alarms about the threat of Al-Qaeda well before 9/11. This guy knew about something was up. Richard Clarke. He's a spook, right? All these guys are spooks. Here we go. You probably know this one. I was a former governor before joining the federal government. I played a significant role in reshaping U.S. security policies after 9/11. I oversaw the creation of a new government department in response to the attacks. Everybody remember all this? Homeland Security, yes. I was the first person to hold a newly created cabinet level position. First new cabinet position in a long time. I became the first Secretary of Homeland Security. Everybody remember who this is? First Secretary of Homeland Security. Who knows? Quick, gone. This is Tom Ridge. Tom Ridge was the first U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, a department created in response to 9/11. So we have them to thank for that. And the idea was to try to tie together all the loose ends because nobody was communicating. The CIA, the FBI, the Border Patrol, whoever it was, they wanted them all under one thing. So U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security. I bet you know this next one. I was a businessman and founder of a major financial news company before I entered politics. You should be able to get it from that. I succeeded a famous mayor during a very challenging time. So this is the guy that came after Giuliani. I took office shortly after the 9/11 attacks. Jan's got it. I implemented significant changes in New York City's public health and safety policies. No big soft drinks, right? That was a big one. No big soft drinks. I was the mayor of New York City after Rudy Giuliani. I already gave you that clue. I anticipated the robots clue. Pretty good painting of them, don't you think? I think so. Everybody know that this is Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg became the mayor of New York City shortly after 9/11, guiding the city through its recovery period. Michael Bloomberg. All right, nice name, mister. Who knows this next one? I was a former Marine officer who served in Vietnam. I became the second longest serving director of the FBI. I oversaw major changes within the FBI after 9/11. Who remembers who this is? He's stayed in the news all the way till now. I led the FBI's investigation into the 9/11 attacks. This is the guy who led the investigation. Yeah, Jan's got it. I was the director of the FBI during 9/11. Yes, he was. There he is. I think the robots did an excellent job with this painting. They nailed his look. Robert Mueller led the FBI's efforts to investigate the 9/11 attack and implemented reforms within his agency. Not really good reforms, in my opinion. There you go. Robert Mueller. All right, let's switch up. I bet you can get this one, though. I was an anti-Soviet resistance fighter in the 1980s. I became a key ally of the U.S. after the fall of the Taliban. I worked to rebuild a war-torn country after 9/11. I think the robots have this one, so you should be able to get it from the picture. I was elected president of Afghanistan in the country's first democratic election. This is the guy, first president, elected. I was the president of Afghanistan after the U.S. invasion of Afghanistan. Who remembers who this is? Who's got the name? Anybody know? It's an excellent picture. This is Last Chance, going once, going twice. Sold. Hamid Karzai. Hamid Karzai was the first president of Afghanistan after the U.S. invasion, playing a crucial role in rebuilding the nation for a while. Didn't work out in the long run. Am I right? Or am I right? I think you'll know this one. I was a British lawyer before becoming a politician. I was a staunch ally of the United States after 9/11. I supported the U.S. decision to invade Iraq despite opposition at home. Surely you know this. Here you go. Here's the money clue. I served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for a decade. There you go. Shady 219. And Jan has it. I was the British Prime Minister during the 9/11 attacks. Like everybody's got this one this time. This indeed is Tony Blair. Tony Blair was a key U.S. ally supporting the war on terror after the invasion of Iraq. Okay, these last three guys, these are more obscure characters. You're going to have your little personal assistant with you to get these, I think. Good luck with these last. Oh, there's actually four. I was the first Asian American cabinet member in U.S. history. I played a critical role in a major decision involving air travel. Who knows this? I led efforts to secure U.S. airspace in the immediate aftermath of 9/11. So I kind of forgot about this, but this guy had a key role for a period of time. I ordered all planes to be grounded for the first time in U.S. history. Who remembers who that was? Who did that? I was the U.S. Secretary of Transportation during the 9/11 attacks. Hey, Shady's got it. Jan, I think you were on the right track. That's right. This is Norman Manetta. Norman Manetta was the U.S. Secretary of Transportation during 9/11, known for grounding all flights in the country. Can you imagine Buttigieg? I guess I'll reserve judgment on Mayor Pete. All right, let's go back to the other side. I was arrested for immigration violations before 9/11. I was a member of a global terrorist organization. I was trained as a pilot, but I didn't participate in the 9/11 attacks. I was believed to be the so-called 20th hijacker. I missed my flight. Right? He missed his flight. Bummer. This is the guy. I was the only person convicted in the U.S. for my role in the 9/11 attacks. So there you go. That's what you get for being late to your flights. And they didn't even have TSA, right? No TSA, and he was late. Who knows this guy's name? Zakariyya Moussaoui. Zakariyya Moussaoui was arrested before 9/11 and later convicted for his role in the attacks. You guys remember that? The trials and all that? Yeah, that was something. Yeah, Shady, you were close. I think you were on the right track there. Okay, two hard ones, guys. You guys ready? Here we go. Get the clues out there early. I was a former Watergate prosecutor. I became involved in a high-profile investigation in the early 2000s. I was known for my tough questioning of key witnesses. I played a prominent role in uncovering details about 9/11. This is the tough lawyer during the investigation. I was a member of the 9/11 Commission. Anybody remember this guy's name? Prominent role in the 9/11 Commission. This is a guy named Richard Benvenisti. Richard Benvenisti was a member of the 9/11 Commission helping to investigate the attacks. Richard Benvenisti. Got a cool name. Even though nobody remembers it. So maybe it's not so cool. Possibly. I told you these last couple were hard. So we got one more hard one. See if you remember this one. I served in Congress before joining a significant national investigation. Another key figure. I was known for my focus on national security issues. I helped draft important recommendations for preventing future attacks. I was part of a bipartisan group investigating the 9/11 attacks. Anybody remember another key figure on the 9/11 Commission? These last two were hard. Very obscure figures, but that's what we wanted. We wanted some easy ones at the beginning and some hard ones at the end. That's right. This is Timothy J. Romer. Timothy J. Romer was a key figure in the 9/11 Commission, contributing to the final report. So he's kind of like Jefferson, who helped write the Declaration of Independence and all that. Yeah, Timothy J. Romer. So now you know something. You learn something every time you watch Quick Bite History Live. There he is. So that concludes our 9/11. How'd you guys do? You guys did pretty good. You guys did pretty good. Those were hard, though. Those last couple were very hard. Okay, well, we're going to stick with kind of the same category. I'm going to load up the next video file. And we're going to do 20 iconic U.S. military leaders. So hang on. I'll get it going. Here we go. I'm back. Yeah, those last two were hard. Sorry about that. Here we go. You're going to know these. 20 iconic U.S. military leaders. I began my career as a celebrated American hero. But, a big but, my tactical genius helped win key battles in the Revolutionary War. I was promoted to Major General, but felt I wasn't appreciated enough. I attempted to surrender West Point to the British. Who remembers who this is? Famous. My name has since become synonymous with traitor. Who knows? Who's the biggest traitor? Who's the person that is synonymous with the word traitor? Yes. Dan Scott. That's right. Everybody remember? Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold's defection to the British during the Revolutionary War is one of the most infamous acts in American history. Benedict Arnold. There he is. Robots. I think robots did good with Benedict. Mr. Arnold. Attempted to surrender West Point to the British. Holy smokes. All right, some of these are hard, some of these are easy. I was a self-taught soldier with no formal military training. I took command of the Southern Campaign during the Revolutionary War. So down my way, South Carolina way. I used guerrilla tactics to wear down British forces in the Carolinas. Anybody remember any Revolutionary War trivia? I am best known for my victory at the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. I'm not sure where Guilford Courthouse is, but it's in the Carolinas. And my close friendship with George Washington made me one of the most trusted generals. That would do it. You compliment George, you get along. Who remembers who this is? British forces in the Carolinas. Guerrilla tactics. Anybody know? Okay, you're gonna learn something. This is Nathaniel Green. Nathaniel Green is often considered one of the most brilliant strategists of the American Revolution. And I think mostly for the guerrilla tactics. And those are shown in that movie with, what was the Mel Gibson movie with the Revolutionary War? I forget. But anyway, guerrilla tactics. Okay, next up, along the same lines, this guy worked as a teamster before becoming a soldier. I commanded a group of elite riflemen during the Revolutionary War. This guy's a sniper. My troops were known for their deadly accuracy with long rifles. I was instrumental in defeating the British at the Battle of Saratoga. That was a big one. And then, this is down my way in the Carolinas, upstate. I achieved a decisive victory at the Battle of Cowpens. Cowpens. Snipers. Who knows? And if you didn't know before, you know now. You're learning some American Revolution history. This is Daniel Morgan. Daniel Morgan's leadership in the Revolutionary War helped turn the tide in the South. Daniel Morgan. There he is. Robots painted him perfectly. I knew him well. Okay, we're doing famous U.S. military figures, in case you forgot the category. Robots paint, you guess. This guy was known as Old Fuss and Feathers. This is Old Fuss and Feathers. This is the guy. This is the guy. I served in 3 major U.S. wars over 5 decades. Holy smokes. I created the Anaconda Plan. That's cool. During the Civil War. So he went from the Revolutionary War all the way through. I played a key role in the U.S. victory over Mexico. This guy was into them all. I was the longest serving general in U.S. history until the Civil War. There you go. Shady's on top of this one. You Googling Shady, or did you just have that? What's his first name? Who remembers his first name? This is Winfield Scott. Winfield Scott's career spanned from the War of 1812. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Revolutionary War. War of 1812 to the Civil War and everything in between, earning him national fame. So there you go. Winfield Scott. You're learning something. I heard an answer earlier. Hang on to that. I grew up as an orphan on the American frontier. And a second clue might give it away. My nickname was Old Hickory due to my toughness. I fought against both the British and Native Americans. I led a successful defense of New Orleans in the War of 1812. So this is the guy. And that led to him becoming the 7th president of the United States. David Crockett was a good guess. Wrong, but good guess. AJ is correct. Kind of a short answer, but it is correct. This indeed is Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson's victory at the Battle of New Orleans made him a national hero and led to his election as the President of the United States. Andrew Jackson. There he is. Excellent painting, Mr. Robot. All right, we're doing famous U.S. military figures. Robots are painting, you're guessing. I began my military career in California during the gold rush. How about that? I was known for my total war tactics in the Civil War. My name is synonymous with scorched earth warfare. There you go. And it is. He's famous for burning his way to the ocean. I had a devastating march from Atlanta to Savannah. My famous quote is, "War is hell." Who remembers the guy? Who did the March from Atlanta to Savannah, scorched earth, all that stuff. Who knows? Anybody remember? William T. Sherman. Sherman's march to the sea was a turning point in the Civil War, devastating Confederate morale. Yes, indeed. All right, you'll know the next one. I had a string of business failures before joining the Army. How's that? How's that for a clue? I led successful campaigns in the Western Theater during the Civil War. I'm the guy who accepted Robert E. Lee's surrender at Appomattox. This is the guy that took Lee's surrender. My nickname was Unconditional Surrender. Yeah, Jan's got it. Pretty good painting by the robots too, I think. You can get it from the painting. I became the 18th president of the United States. I think everybody's got this one, don't they? Yes, this is U.S. Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant's leadership secured Union victory in the Civil War. Wasn't a good president, huh? What book is that? Is there a book that you got some of that from? I'd like to read that, I think. Sounds interesting. Okay, I bet you get the next one. I graduated second in my class at West Point without a single demerit. That's kind of interesting. I graduated second, not first, second. I was offered command of the Union Army, but chose to fight for my home state. Did you know that? I led Confederate forces through some of the Civil War's most famous battles. Yeah, you've got it. My army was known as the Army of Northern Virginia. The Army of Northern Virginia. I did indeed surrender to Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox. I think everybody knows this one. This is the famous Robert E. Lee. Lee is often remembered as one of the most skilled generals of the Civil War, despite being on the bad guy's side and his ultimate defeat. Robert E. Lee. All right, this next one's pretty interesting. I think you'll get the next one too. Famous U.S. military leaders. Robots paint, you guess. I give a few clues along the way. I graduated last in my class at West Point. There you go. Last in his class. But my aggressiveness in battle was legendary. I was a Civil War hero known for my cavalry charges. Yeah, I like to use horses. After the war, I served in the Indian Wars in the West. Who remembers this? This guy's pretty famous. I led the 7th Cavalry to a disastrous defeat in 1876. Who knows who this is? This is an infamous gentleman. He died at the Battle of Little Bighorn, also known as Custer's Last Stand. That's right. Anybody remember Mr. Custer's first name? Who knows this one? This is George Custer. Custer's death at the Little Bighorn has become one of the most famous moments in American military history. Infamous. Yes, indeed. All right, we're getting more and more modern. I don't know if you've noticed, these are more or less in chronological order. I was nicknamed Black Jack due to my early service with African American troops. I led an unsuccessful expedition to capture Pancho Villa in Mexico. You guys spent some time in Mexico. I was appointed to lead American expedition forces in World War I. Another one of these guys that goes from war to war. I insisted on keeping American troops independent from Allied command. I led U.S. forces to victory in World War I. I don't know if you cut that, but he wanted to keep, I guess, American troops under American command and not be part of the British and French and all those guys. Yeah, Jan's got it. Jan knows this stuff. That's right. This is John J. Pershing. Pershing's leadership helped shape the modern American military during World War I. Learn something every day on Quick Bite History Live. You'll know the next one. I served in both World War I and World War II. I famously promised I shall return after being forced to leave the Philippines. Who remembers that famous line? I accepted Japan's formal surrender in 1945 aboard the USS Missouri. This is the guy that accepted the surrender. Yeah, you got it. I was relieved of command by President Truman during the Korean War. Whoops. Come on home, Mac. Come on home. I was awarded the Medal of Honor for my defense of the Philippines. Everybody know? Yep, this is Douglas MacArthur. MacArthur's career spanned 5 decades. That's a long time. 5. And he remains one of the most iconic military leaders in U.S. history. Yep, everybody knows his name. As they do the next gentleman. I rose to prominence as a planner for war games in the 1930s. I commanded Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa. There you go, Jan. Good job. I was appointed Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe. I oversaw the D-Day landings in Normandy. I became the 34th President of the United States. I love to play golf. And this is the guy who warned us about the military-industrial complex. Words to live by these days. They seem like important words. Yes, indeed, this is Dwight D. Eisenhower. Ike's leadership in World War II made him a beloved national figure, leading to his presidency. Like Grant. There he is. Dwight D. Eisenhower. I think you'll know the next one as well. I was a skilled horseman competing in the Olympics. Wow, I didn't know that. I was known for my bold and often controversial statements. I didn't know that. My leadership helped win key battles in North Africa and in Europe during World War II. Yeah. Dan's got it again. I led relief of Bastogne during the Battle of the Bulge. I was played by George C. Scott in a famous 1970 biopic. Everybody see that movie? Pretty good movie, right? Didn't it win? It won like lots of awards. Patton, yes, Patton is correct. George S. Patton. His aggressive tactics and flamboyant personality made him one of the most famous generals in World War II. All right. Moving on, we're doing military leaders through U.S. history. Robots are doing some painting, and you guys are doing some guessing. I'm giving a few clues. I commanded submarines during my early naval career. I took over command of the Pacific Fleet after the attack on Pearl Harbor. My strategy emphasized aircraft carriers over battleships. Yeah, you know it. I oversaw U.S. naval victories at the Midway and Leyte Gulf. I was the leading naval commander in the Pacific during World War II. Everybody know? That's right. It's Chester Nimitz. Chester Nimitz. Nimitz's strategy decisions were critical in turning the tide against Japan in the Pacific. This is the guy. Chester Nimitz. There he is. Nice job, robots. Okay, we've got another famous World War II guy coming up. I was a classmate of Eisenhower at West Point. I was known as the GI Generals for my concern, the GI General for my concern for welfare of troops. I commanded forces in North Africa and Sicily, both. Who's this? I played a key role in Operation Overlord, which is D-Day. I led the First Army in the liberation of France. This is the guy. I was right in all the big battles. This is the guy who Patton was always jealous of. This is the guy. Me and Patton butted heads. Omar Bradley. Omar Bradley's quiet, effective leadership earned him respect during World War II. Omar Bradley. Learning something new every day on Quick Bite History. All right, let's see if you can get the next one. We're going through all the divisions of the armed forces. I began my career as a pilot trained by the Wright brothers. This guy was trained by the Wright brothers. I became a pioneer of U.S. military aviation. This guy was trained by the Wright brothers. I commanded the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II, so before there was an Air Force. I was instrumental in the development of long-range bomber strategy. Nope, don't have it yet. It might have been a nickname, Boomer, I don't know. I was the first and only U.S. Air Force general to hold the rank of 5-star general. Who knows? Anybody know this one? This is Henry Hap Arnold. So Hap Arnold, I guess, is the operative. Hap Arnold was a key architect of modern American air power. Yes, he was. Yeah, we've only got a few more of these. We're getting into the weeds a little bit with these American military leaders. I played a key role in planning the D-Day invasion. You know this name, though. I served as Eisenhower's deputy during World War II. So this was the deputy to General Eisenhower. I assumed command of the UN forces during the Korean War. I turned around the war effort with my aggressive tactics. I was credited with saving South Korea from the falling to the north. This is the guy who saved Korea. Anybody know who the most famous guy in Korean War? Anybody remember him? This is Matthew Ridgeway. Matthew Ridgeway's leadership in Korea was critical in reversing early setbacks in that war. Yeah, so we didn't do very well in the beginning of that war. We've got a few more. And we're getting a little more modern now. This guy served in World War II and the Korean War before leading U.S. forces in a more controversial conflict. I commanded U.S. military operations in Southeast Asia. My strategy focused on search and destroy missions. I oversaw the buildup of U.S. forces during the Vietnam War. So who was Mr. Vietnam? Anybody remember who was Mr. Vietnam? The Tet Offensive occurred under my command, causing a major shift in public opinion. Who remembers who this is? And it looks just like him. The robots did an excellent job. Anybody know? Going once, going twice. Sold to William Westmoreland. Westmoreland's role in Vietnam remains one of the most debated aspects of U.S. military history. Yes, a bit shady, perhaps. Okay, we've only got two more U.S. military leaders. I served 2 tours in Vietnam before rising to greater prominence. I became known for my media-savvy leadership during a major Middle Eastern conflict. This is the guy that was always on CNN, in the camo, in the desert gear. I led Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s. My nickname was Stormin' Norman, due to my fiery personality. You guys remember who that was? Do you remember the guy always on CNN? He's always in his desert fatigues, stomping around. It was entertainment for sure. I commanded the coalition forces during the Gulf War and achieved decisive victory over Iraq. This is the guy. This is the guy that always... Yes, there you go. Chris has it. Stormin' Norman Schwarzkopf. Schwarzkopf's leadership in the Gulf War made him a household name and a symbol of American military success in the 1990s. It was like the best rated TV show each night, right? Kind of bad, but it was. Okay, last one. I graduated from West Point and earned a PhD in international relations. Yeah, that sounds right. I played a key role in developing modern U.S. counterinsurgency tactics. I led the surge strategy in Iraq, which helped stabilize the country. I was promoted to lead U.S. and NATO forces in Afghanistan. Everybody remember who this is? Still involved in something. Definitely a spook. Definitely a spook. I later became the director of the CIA. There you go. There you go. Head spook. Everybody remember who this is? Going once, going twice. This is David Petraeus. David Petraeus, his leadership during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars earned him significant recognition through his career later with controversy. Bummer. Anyway, how'd you guys do? You guys did pretty good? Pretty good on that one. Now, that's the end of our second round. That kind of ends our 9/11 special. We did 9/11 figures, then we did U.S. military figures. And so let me load up the last round of robot speed painting tonight. It's a little more of a fun category. We're going to do icons of the 1980s. So we're going to do 20 iconic pop culture characters from the 1980s. A little more fun than 9/11 and the U.S. military leaders. So here we go. This character's story is centered around an intergalactic adventure. This character has a unique ability to heal wounds with a glowing touch. He is known for his long neck and large, expressive eyes. Who knows who this is? I bet you all know. This character famously loves Reese's Pieces candy. That was product placement, wasn't it? The phrase phone home is forever linked with this beloved character. Everybody know who this is? There you go. V has it. Yes, indeed. This is E.T. E.T. is the titular character from Steven Spielberg's 1982 film E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which became a classic of science fiction and family cinema. Yes, it did. And again, we're doing pop culture icons of the 1980s. That's our category. This character is an archaeologist and a professor. Bet you know it. He is known for his fear of snakes. His adventures often involve seeking out ancient artifacts. Yes, it does. I think you know it from the 1980s. He wields a whip and wears a fedora. There you go. You've got it. Everybody's got it. Optimus V. Everybody's got it. He is played by Harrison Ford in a famous film series. Of course, this is Indiana Jones. He is the protagonist of the film series created by George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, starting with Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981. And that was a classic film, wasn't it? Raiders of the Lost Ark. There you go. We're doing icons of the 1980s. This character is a teenager living in Hill Valley. He travels through time in a DeLorean car. Yes, he does. His best friend is an eccentric scientist. He often finds himself fixing past mistakes to save the future. Well, again, we're looking for the character's name. I'll take the actor's name too, or the movie, whatever. He is played by Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future trilogy. Who's the character? Everybody remember the character? Yeah, it's Michael J. Fox. And the character's name was... Anybody remember? Can't remember. Is his dad's name the same? Is it Junior? Yeah, there you go. Marty McFly. Marty McFly is the main character of Back to the Future film series directed by Robert Zemeckis, which just debuted in the 1985. Let's see if you guys know this next one. I wasn't really into this next one. This character is an alter ego of Prince Adam. He wields a magical sword and possesses superhuman strength. Who's this character? His arch nemesis is Skeletor. There you go. I think we've got the guy that knows these categories. Oh, you guys all know these. He defends the realm of Eternia. I have the power to transform. There he is. It's the He-Man. Of course, you got it. He-Man is the hero of the animated television series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which aired in the 1980s. I didn't watch that much. Did you guys watch that? Is it He-Man fans? He-Man fans out there? All right, this next one, some people in this room should know this one. This character is the leader of a group of robotic beings. He transforms into a semi-truck. Somebody should know this one. There you go. He fights against the Decepticons. Those damn Decepticons. He is known for his wisdom and bravery. He is the leader of the Autobots. It's so funny. Every time my granddaughter comes over, she immediately flips on whatever it's on, Netflix or whatever it is, HBO, and watches all the Transformer movies. I don't know how many there are, but she watches them all. Optimus Prime is the central character in the Transformers franchise, which includes animated series, comics, and live-action films. Optimus Prime. You guys all knew that one. Children of the 80s, I can see. All right, well, you'll know the next one, too. Change of gears a little bit. This artist started his career as a child in a family band. He became known as the King of Pop. His dance moves, including the moonwalk, are iconic. I think you all know this one. His album, Thriller, is one of the best-selling albums of all time. There it is. You guys got it. Definitely correct. He is famous for his single sequined glove. I guess he was famous, or I guess he is still famous. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a globally influential pop singer and entertainer whose career spans several decades, starting in the 1960s with the Jackson 5. Did you know he started in the 1960s? Wow. Michael Jackson. There he is. All right, everybody knew that one. And along the same lines, this artist is known for constantly reinventing her image. She gained fame with hits like a Virgin and Material Girl. She is often referred to as the Queen of Pop. We saw the King, and this is the Queen. Yes, indeed. You guys have it. She has influenced many female pop artists that followed. Yes, she has. The robot's got something kind of funny on her nose there. It's like a little Hitler mustache, right? Don't know what's going on there. Madonna. Madonna is an American singer, songwriter, and actress who became a cultural icon in the 1980s and continues to be influential in the music industry. Oh, there, the robots kind of fixed her up. They fixed her nose up pretty well there. Have you seen the pictures of her lately? She's still like out on stage. I don't know how old she is. She's older than me, I think. Still doing shows. Still doing shows. Madonna. That's right. We're doing icons of the 80s. Robots are painting. You guys are guessing. Now, this character is a little different. This character is part of a popular 1980s video game. He navigates a maze eating pellets. Doesn't sound that fun. He is chased by ghosts, and the ghosts are named Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. There you go. You guys know your 1980s icons, that's for sure. I'm not sure about where the robots got this painting though. It's kind of a weird one. He is yellow and a circular character. Yes, he is. Yeah, it's kind of a robot's kind of did an odd picture there. Sorry about that. Pac-Man is an arcade game developed by Namco. Did you know that? Namco, and released in the 1980s. It became an enduring symbol of 1980s pop culture. Pac-Man. Yes, it did. Yeah, that's kind of an odd picture. All right, number 9 in our icons of the 1980s. This character is a plumber by profession. He often rescues Princess Peach. Who knows this one? Yes, of course. He is known for his red hat and mustache. His adventures take place in the Mushroom Kingdom. Yes, everybody's got this, of course. You know, I never played much Mario. I think I was a little older when these more active video games finally got going. I was more of a Pong and Pac-Man guy, I think. That's right. This is Mario of the Super Mario Brothers. Mario is a video game character created by Nintendo and has appeared in over 200 different games since its creation. Did you know that? 200 different games. Wow. There he is. I don't think the robots missed on that one. The Pac-Man one was a little weird. Mario is pretty good. All right. Next up. Icons of the 1980s. This team deals with supernatural phenomena. They use proton packs to capture ghosts. Their headquarters is an old firehouse in New York City. Yeah. These guys are icons of the 80s, right? Their logo features a ghost in a red circle with a slash. No, can I do that? No ghosts. No ghosts. Ghostbusters is a 1984 supernatural comedy film directed by Ivan Reitman, which became a cultural phenomenon and spawned a whole franchise. Didn't they just do another one? They did like a woke one, a kid one, right? All these series that they're bringing back go through a woke one. Now we're kind of post woke. But now we're doing the kids ones. That's right. The Ghostbusters is the correct answer. All right, here we go. You'll know this one. This character is a high school student known for skipping school. That's the only clue you can need. He is famous for his elaborate schemes. He spends a day in Chicago with his best friend and his girlfriend. Yeah, this is the guy. You know who it is. He often breaks the fourth wall and he talks to the audience. I guess I didn't remember that, but yeah, now that I say that, he definitely does. I've watched it like 20 times. He is the protagonist of the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Well, I guess that kind of gives it away. That's kind of a giveaway clue, isn't it? This is Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller is the main character of the 1986 film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, directed by John Hughes. There you go. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's it. Here we go. Number 12. This character is a Vietnam War veteran. He is highly skilled in survival and combat. Who knows? There you go. He often finds himself in violent conflicts. Yes, he does. He is known for his muscular physique and his bandana. Have you seen him? He's been doing social media stuff lately. Sly Stallone. He is portrayed by Sylvester Stallone in a film series. How many of these shows were there? Can't remember. That's right, Rambo. John Rambo. I should have made you guess his first name. You guys might not have got his first name. Right? John Rambo is the main character in Rambo film series starting with First Blood in 1982. How many were there? I can't remember how many movies there were. Anyway, next up in the same category, kind of. This character is a boxer from Philadelphia. He started as an underdog fighter. Who knows? You think you were 5? Huh? Could be. He trained by running up steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. He famously shouts, "Adrian! Adrian! Adrian!" Did I get that right? After the fight. He is also played by Sylvester Stallone in the film series. Everybody knows this. And yes, he is an icon of the 1980s. No doubt. Rocky Balboa is the main character in Rocky film series starting with Rocky, just Rocky, in 1976. There were a bunch of Rockies too, right? Maybe 5 of those too. I don't know. I don't remember. Quite a few. All right, here we go. Yeah, you guys know all the 1980s. Is that suspect that you know all these too good? Could be. This character is a waitress turned into a warrior. Oh, She is the mother of a future resistance leader. She is targeted by time-traveling robots. Those damn robots. Robots are doing it. No, not Buffy. Good answer, though. She transforms from a damsel in distress to a hardened fighter. There you go. There's the whole answer. That is complete. That's a complete answer. She is a central character in the Terminator series. Yes, indeed. This is Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor is the main character of the Terminator film series, starting with The Terminator in 1984. And once again, we have like 5 of those, right? Something like that. There's a lot of Terminators. I love that, though. Terminator was great. Of all the ones we've been talking about, that's my favorite so far. Definitely like that. Okay, good luck getting this one. This character is an animated singer and actress. She is known for her sultry voice and stunning looks. She is married to a cartoon rabbit. That's a little weird. That's a little weird. Her famous line is, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way." That is funny. Yes. It is Jessica. She is a character in the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yes, indeed, this is Jessica Rabbit from the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And she's who did her voice? Who did it was perfect at the time. Jessica Rabbit's voice. Anybody remember? Who is the voice of Jessica Rabbit? Anybody know? Very sexy actress at the time. Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner is the correct answer. All right, who's the next icon? This character is an alien from the planet Melmac. A Melmacian. He crash lands on Earth and lives with a suburban family, as most sitcoms do. Ever remember this? I did not watch this too much. Hate to say it. I think this TV period was also past my TV a little bit. I don't know. I didn't watch this. He is known for his sarcastic humor. He has a penchant for eating cats. And that's kind of in the news. That's like newsworthy. This guy's in Springfield, Ohio. This guy. Yeah. His name stands for alien life form. Yes, it does. ALF. Alf is the main character of the TV sitcom Alf, which aired from 1986 to 1990. I don't know if he qualifies as an icon of the 80s. I beg to differ. I think this next guy does, though. This character is a small, furry creature. He must avoid bright light, water, and being fed after midnight. So I remember watching this movie, and this was like this was scary. And how old was I? I was already a teen. What's the deal? His species is called a magua. He has a gentle and friendly personality. He is the protagonist of the film Gremlins. Yeah, you guys got it. Very good. You remember his name? I don't think I would have remembered his name. Gizmo from the movie Gremlins. Gizmo is a character in the 1984 film Gremlins, directed by Joe Dante. Joe Dante. We've only got 3 more tonight. Last 3 of the evening. You guys can hang in there for that. This next artist is a lead singer of a famous rock band. He is known for his powerful voice and flamboyant stage presence. And if I give you the next clue, you're going to know it. Hits like Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are Champions are associated with him. He often performed in a white tank top and jeans. There you go. You guys got it? You guys got it. He was the frontman for the group Queen. Freddie Mercury was the lead vocalist of Queen, known for his extraordinary vocal range and charismatic performances. Did you guys all see the movie? I forget the name of the movie, but it was out, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Time flies. Maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago. What was it? I don't know. That was one of the first movies where somehow the projectors showed the movie on the side walls of the theater too when I went to it. And it's like, that was supposed to be cool. I don't think so. Anyway, number 19. This character is a member of a group of mercenaries. He is known for his mohawk and gold chains. His catchphrase is, I pity the fool. I pity the fool. I think I got that pretty close, right? Yes. He is an expert in hand-to-hand combat. I pity the fool. He is played by Lawrence Turrout. Did I pronounce that right? Turrout. In the TV series The A-Team. Mr. T is a character from the TV series A-Team, which aired from 1983 to 1987. And then they had, a couple movies? A couple movies, I think, right? I think so. George Peppard, right? Venison. Anyway, last one of the evening. Here you go. This character is known for his stuttering electronic voice. So I'm thinking this guy was like the original AI. This is the original AI guy. This guy. He often appears as a computer-generated television host, kind of like me, I guess. His show is set in a dystopian future dominated by television networks. I love that. It was ahead of its time for sure, right? He wears a suit and has slick back blonde hair. Yeah, you guys have it. You guys definitely have it. He is the, we're going to use this word again, titular. He is the titular character of the 1980s TV series Max Headroom. Who can give me the precise definition of that adjective, titular, or adverb, or whatever it is? That's right, this is Max Headroom. You guys have it. Fictional artificial intelligence character introduced in the mid-1980s. Known for his satirical commentary and unique glitchy appearance. And that does it for the evening. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We had a little fun. We did a little serious 9/11 stuff, and we ended up with some 1980s icons. So thanks again. Appreciate you being here, and hopefully you'll be out here next time, next Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. and we'll have a little more fun. And if you get a chance, stop by my YouTube channel. I also do some pretty cool AI video stuff. You know, the AI video is getting better and better. And so some of these storytelling is getting better and better. Not so glitchy, not so warpy. Anyway, hopefully you get a chance. And thanks again. I really do appreciate it. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.